Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is the third part of the video. You remember we are still talking about structure in English, but this time we are going to talk about the structure of the sentence. The chapter that has been selected is chapter 15 from Steigerberg, an introductory English grammar. As we have seen, phrase structure is rule governed. It is not random. Usually, we have learned that phrase structure is made via or through what's called merger technique. Regarding sentence structure or the structure of the sentence, words in general combine together or merge together within a sentence according to certain rules, and they fall within certain patterns. These patterns are limited. They are only 9. Here I am talking about the basic sentence patterns, as you will see. So they combine together according to certain patterns, limited patterns, and each pattern has its own structure. Any violation, any rewording, any change in the wording or in the rewording, the arrangement of these words within each pattern will spoil the meaning of the sentence, and then we get meaningless sentence. However, in all these 9 sentence patterns, the subject always occurs in the first and position. That is, it occurs as the subject of the sentence. Here, the verb in the sentence in English functions as the dynamo of the sentence. It dynamizes the structure of the sentence. It determines the structure of the whole sentence and then the pattern of the sentence. Now let's talk about the first pattern number 1. This is pattern number 1, which is N. Be adjective, N is the subject and be is the verb to be. Adjective in the third positions. Usually it functions here, the adjective as the complement of the subject. Let's take this example. So food here is the N, which is the subject of the sentence, is be or verb to be, and good is adjective. So it means that pattern number 1 is limited. We have N be adjective, and we have to stick to this pattern here. So the first one is the noun, then second element is verb to be, and third element is the adjective. Now we go to pattern number 2, where we have N be adverb, as you see in this video. So we have N, which is the subject here. You see that, and then we have be and adverb here. So L-N is what? L-N is the subject and be is adverb, verb to be, and followed here by the adverb. The difference between pattern number 1 and pattern number 2, the third slot or the third position here is occupied by an adverb instead of an adjective. So the girl here is the N, which is a noun phrase. It consists of determiner, which is there, and the noun girl, and is verb to be. And finally, the third slot is filled by the adverb. This pattern is limited. We cannot change any one. If we change any one of these elements, we will change the whole pattern. We will change the whole structure. Now let's talk about pattern number 3, as you see in the video here. So here, pattern number 3, we have N1, and we have B, second N1. The first N1 here, we have 2N one element. The first N1 is the subject, where B is still, we are talking about verb to be, and the second one, the second N1 is the subject complement. You know, the subject complement, it could be either a noun or it could be an adjective. If we say he is happy, happy is adjective, which is the subject complement. It refers back to he. When we say my brother is a doctor, as in this pattern here, the subject complement a doctor, it is a noun. Here it is a noun phrase. By the way, the symbol N refers to a nominal element. This nominal element could be a noun, a proper noun, or it could be a noun phrase. So the first element in pattern number 3, as it is shown in this diagram or in this example, this is the N1, which is the subject, and then a doctor, which is the second N1, the subject complement. So we have learned up to this example that the first 3 patterns in English, the verb here is verb to be, where still we have 3 different patterns with verb to be. In pattern number 1, we have NB adjective. In pattern 2, we have NB adverb. And in pattern number 3, we have N1, which is the subject be, and N1, which is the subject complement. Now let's talk about pattern number 4, as you see in this video. So pattern number 4 consists of N, which is the subject. You remember N always occupies the first position within the sentence. It is the subject. And then we have LB, which is a linking verb, فعل ربط, such as seems, looks, appears, sound, etc. And then this linking verb is followed by an adjective. You know, a linking verb should be followed by what? It should be followed by a complement here, which is an adjective. Or sometimes it could be followed also by a complement, but it could be nominal, a noun phrase. Here, what determines the structure of the sentence is the linking verb. So we have still a limited pattern as in these 2 examples. So for example, here we have in these 2 sentences, the cyclist appears weary. It means very exhausted, very tired here. The cyclist here, the first one here, it is the subject, is the N, and appears in the sense or in the meaning of sense, and the meaning of appear. This linking verb, and then we have an adjective. The same thing for the second example. The physicist grew sleepy. The physicist is the subject, is the N, and linking verb is the grew, and then we have adjective. Sometimes, as you will see in pattern number 5, is still the main verb here is what? Is a linking verb, as it is clear here in pattern number 5 in this example. So here we have N1 this time, which is the subject of the sentence, and the verb is LB linking verb, followed by what? Followed by a noun complement, N1. Same. We have 2 N1. The first one is the subject, the second one is the subject complement. But this time, the subject complement is not an adjective as in pattern number 4. It is a noun phrase as in this example. My sister is N1. The subject remained is what? Is a linking verb, and an outstanding student is a noun phrase, the second N1, which is the subject. It belongs to my sister. It modifies the sister. So what determines the structure of this sentence here is what? Is the linking verb. Yani when the main verb of a sentence is what? Is a linking verb, either we will have pattern number 4 or pattern number 5. Now we move to another pattern, which is pattern number 6, where we will have N, which is the subject, and then we have the this is the intransitive verb, as we will see here, and so on and so forth. N and INV is what? The intransitive verb. Means that when the verb is intransitive, there is no complement, there is no object. That is why we have said from the beginning that the verb in English is the dynamo of the sentence. It dynamizes, it determines the sentence patterns. So let's see this example. You know, girls is N is the subject, and smile is the intransitive verb, or in the other examples are the sportsman fished, where we have subject and the verb, yani SV, subject verb, and the sportsman, the plural, are fishing. Also we have intransitive verb. An intransitive verb is not followed by a complement or an adjective.